All right, so how to start selling food plates from home, and can I start to sell food from home on DoorDash? Well, if this is an idea that you have in mind, you want to watch this video all the way to the end, because I'm going to give you some explanations of what you can legally do and what you legally cannot do. And if you're looking to transform your kitchen into a profitable business, the journey from home cook to food entrepreneur may actually be illegal and a huge legal liability with the potential of actual jail time. Like I said, if you don't believe me, stay with me to the end of the video and I'm going to give you 2 examples of what happened. But first, start selling food plates from home. Well, if you're looking to make your world famous tacos or pasta dish, you might want to think again. Every state in the United States has cottage food laws. Now, these laws are in place that actually allow you to sell non-potentially hazardous foods like baked goods, cupcakes, chips, trail mixes, and those types of items. But it's much, much different now. But when it comes to actually selling foods like you get at a restaurant or even on a food truck, these are looked at as sometimes time or temperature sensitive foods. Now, those actually are the ones that have to be eaten within a certain period of time, or they have to be delivered within a certain period of time, and in some cases kept at certain temperatures before they get consumed. But Damien, my friends down the street are all selling foods out of their home and they haven't gotten into any trouble. Why don't I just do that? Well, all it takes is a neighbor or one single customer to make one phone call to the health department, and that's when it can get a little bit scary. Yeah, so you got to understand, many people don't realize that they are selling food from a house with no business license. They have no LLC in place or no insurance. This can get them sued. And all right, so the reason being is that many of these people don't realize that if you're selling food from your house with no business license, no LLC, or even no insurance, this can get them sued. And then what happens is that none of these are actually in place. They can personally get sued. They can lose their house. They can lose their car, basically everything. Yes, lawyers have been known to pursue lawsuits and actually end up taking everything you own with these situations if the person actually ends up suing you. So this is also includes, but not only the idea of delivering food plates, but also catering. Many people launch catering businesses, which in every state is a licensed business that needs local and state licensing, and even including insurance and LLCs, but many of them do it anyways, and I would not recommend that. When considering turning your kitchen hobby into a profitable food business from home, it's essential to really understand the legalities and the regulations involved. Now here in this streamlined video, I'm actually going to give you some great examples and explain to you. So you want to definitely watch it all the way to the end. I'm going to lay out exactly what can be made and what cannot be. All right, so there are the cottage food laws like I mentioned in the introduction. Now, these laws dictate the specifics of running a home-based food business. They vary by region and even typically allow the sale of certain low-risk food items without the need of an actual commercial kitchen. Now, what kind of foods, Damien, can you sell from home then if you can? What are permitted foods? Well, you can usually sell what's known as non-perishable items. Like I mentioned before briefly, is baked goods, jams, and candies. Now, perishable foods like a dairy or a meat item might require more complex compliance, of course, and of course that means you can't. These things like tacos and burgers and pizzas and the like are not allowed to be made from home legally and sold via Uber Eats or a delivery app. As a matter of fact, many of these food delivery apps have features that will actually prevent you from adding your home restaurant to their apps, believe it or not. So, but as I mentioned, pizza, burgers, and foods like these are time and temperature sensitive foods, which you would need a ghost kitchen or even potentially a commercial kitchen setting if you wanted to get into that type of a business. But your home, no, you definitely want to stay away from that, because then the other issues are health and safety standards. Now, adhering to local health codes and safety standards is mandatory, and this includes food safety training just for the cottage food laws, kitchen inspections potentially in your state, and also obtaining necessary permits. All right, Damien, so you say permits. What exactly does that mean? So there are some necessary permits that may include things like a business license, like I mentioned, food handler's permit, or even a cottage food permit or legal cottage food allowance law that allows you to do that. The other thing to think about is that some cottage food laws allow online sales and delivery of those cottage food items. While selling locally is generally allowed, shipping food actually across state lines can involve even federal regulations, and interstate sales normally from a home is a no-no. Now, the other thing you want to think about is liability. As I mentioned about the insurance and such, protect your business from potential risk like foodborne illnesses or claims with a liability insurance. And if you don't have those and you go into this type of a restaurant idea, business model, that's going to cause some big problems if someone gets sick. Now, while selling food plates from home is a viable venture, it requires understanding local regulations, maintaining health standards, and managing, of course, your finances and preparing various business aspects as well. Now, as I mentioned, I was going to give you a couple examples. In Carrollton, Texas, there was actually a story about a mother who tried to sell her tamales to her neighbors on the Nextdoor app. without realizing that she actually needed a permit. Now, what happened to her as a result of this, she actually received a warrant arrest notice from the city of Carrollton and was fined $700 for selling food from her home without a license. The other case was that the thing about it was that the fact that it kind of highlights the importance of understanding local regulations before you think that you can do what you want to do and obtaining the necessary permits to do it before selling food from home. The second actual example I wanted to let you know about as well was in Stockton, California. A woman actually faced the possibility of jail time for up to a year. She was actually selling homemade food, selling food plates, as I mentioned, on Facebook. And I actually did a story about her recently here on my channel. Now, this occurred after an undercover sting by San Joaquin County officials. Now, the case underscores the risks associated with selling food online from your house as a restaurant, especially with local laws and regulations when they're not followed. Now, these are examples that illustrate the serious consequence of not adhering to local food selling laws and regulations. So, emphasizing the need that you need to do your due diligence. You need to understand what you're allowed to do and what you can't. And if your friends are doing it, that doesn't necessarily mean that you should be doing it, because you're carrying a lot of liability on your own shoulders with the potential of actually getting fined, shut down, or even potential jail time. Getting put into jail for selling food in your house is definitely something that you don't want to do, of course, obviously. But at the end of the day, selling food like that, food plates on Uber Eats or any other delivery app from home, is technically illegal. Now, there's a lot of videos you'll find out here on YouTube where people are saying, hey, I launched this food business from home, and that is illegal. Sorry, you're not allowed to do that. Now, if they've had success doing it and a lot of people follow their footsteps, remember, your liability, your risk, you're the one who's going to entail all of that. So just wanted to drop this really quick. I had a handful of questions on our other YouTube channel, and this was actually one that popped up, so I wanted to give you guys a little understanding of what is allowed and what's not. So if this was helpful, give me a big thumbs up. And if you have ever experienced this yourself, if you are selling food from home, let me know down below how that is actually going, and I'll see you guys on our next video.